Recently, I completed my very first Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke here on the channel.
Don't crit, don't crit, don't crit. Okay. Bro, please, high roll, baby, high roll, please. Yes! And a crit. I don't know if we needed the crit, but I will take it. Dude, let's go. Let's go. We just beat the champion with a team of 4.
I had a lot of fun with that live series, so I decided, hey, why not try a hardcore Nuzlocke for a video? However, I wanted to add a bit of a twist to it. And I know all the rage right now is doing a hardcore Nuzlocke with a single typing or a specific color of Pokemon, but I've decided to attempt a Pokemon Black hardcore Nuzlocke using only short Pokemon. In order to find out how I should consider a Pokemon to be short, I went over to my Discord server, which you should definitely join by the way, and asked the awesome members that are already in it what they considered to be short. The most common response was anything under 5 feet. That is a pretty reasonable answer, but when it comes to the Pokemon universe, being under 5 foot tall is pretty common. This is because the heights of Pokemon are whack, and stuff like Seismitoad, Crocodile, Conkeldurr, Darmanitan, and even Genesect are all in the 4 foot range. So obviously, if I went with that rule, this challenge would be too easy. Therefore, I will be limiting myself to Pokemon that are under 2 feet tall. This does sound very short, but there are still some notable mons like Chinchino, Swadaloon, Emolga, Durant, Tepig, and Oshawott. Before we get going, here's a quick breakdown of the rules. I can only use Pokemon that are under 2 feet tall. The first encounter of each route will be the first Mon I run into that abides by the previous rule. If a Pokemon faints, I cannot use it ever again. And finally, I will not be able to use any items in battle besides held items. The selected battle mode will be set, and I cannot level up over the next gym leader's ace. Anyways, without further ado, let's hop right into it. I decided to choose Tepig as my starter because in my opinion, it gets better level up moves than Oshawott. I then proceeded to destroy Bianca's Snivy and Charon's Oshawott while trashing my room in the process. Over in the lab, I gave Tepig the fitting name of Bacon. I was really hoping that I would encounter Lillipup on Route 1, but instead I ran into a Patrat who is not as good. Nonetheless, I'll take it since I need another team member before the first gym. And also, I called it Pancake in order to keep up with the breakfast theme. Ent's Purloin stood no chance against Bacon, as a couple of Embers did the trick. Unfortunately, on Route 2, I found a Lillipup, but I got a critical tackle, causing it to die. This was our last encounter before the gym, and I was kind of banking on catching a Lillipup. So who knows how this will go now. At this point, Pancake was able to handle some battles himself, including the one versus Bianca. She wasted a turn with her Lillipup by using Odor Sleuth, and Snivy couldn't hit me that hard, so I tackled my way to victory. I thought Charon would be a bit tougher, but Patrat had no issues taking down Oshawott and Purloin with a few tackles and bites. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed with Pancake so far. I made sure to grind my Pokemon up to the level cap and attach Oran Berries to them before fighting Cress. Lillipup dealt a lot of damage to Tepig, mainly because of a critical bite, However, Bacon pulled through with Ember. Panpour was out next, and I had to waste a turn switching over to Patrat, allowing him to get off a workup. Due to that, and Cress using a potion, Pancake had to go down, even though Panpour was hanging on with a sliver of health. However, because we got the free switch into Bacon, he took a water gun and won the battle with another Ember. After those shenanigans, I sadly had to create my Ballin' and Fallen boxes in the PC in order to deposit Patrat. I then made my way to the Dream Yard, where we witnessed a Muna getting beat up before catching a Purloin and naming it Grits. If I had to guess, this Pokemon won't be on the team for too long, but I need another addition before I make progress. Grits had no problem killing Charon's Pokemon in the next rival battle. As a matter of fact, I only got hit once, as Pursuit and Scratch were too strong. Right after the fight, it was time to catch some new team members. I first got a Pidove, who will definitely come in handy for the Bug-type gym, and then I hauled in a Roggenrola, who I'm very glad about, because I could have encountered a Woobat instead. I named these two Mons Toast and Waffles respectively. Well, Waffles did not last long. I thought he could take a bite from this random Patrat, but no, he wasn't. This death really sucks, because I was planning on using Roggenrola for the next gym. I've got some good news and bad news on the outer section of the Pinwheel Forest. The good news is, I caught a Temple who I nicknamed Syrup. The bad news is, Pidove got one shot from full health by a critical Psybeam from that stupid Nurse's Muna. Okay, that is straight up horrible luck. I was a little worried about the next end battle, but it was actually pretty easy. Purloin took down Pidove, Bacon handled Timber, and Temple killed one of his own kind with a few mud shots. Newsflash, Grits died to one of the random gym trainers, so I was going into the Lenora battle with barely any hope. I started by confusing Herdier with a Supersonic, and then spamming Bubble Beam. Temple did some great damage, before eventually dying. I went over to Tepig, who already got put in the yellow from a takedown before killing Herdier with a Rock Smash. I was 100% sure that Watchog would finish me off, but I had a Chesto Berry to recover from the first hypnosis, and then she missed her second hypnosis. Bacon held on with 5 hit points from a Retaliate, and then won the battle with a Flame Charge. Just like that, the run is somehow still alive. In the Pinwheel Forest, I was hoping for a Suwaddle or Venipede, but of course, I got stuck with a Cottony. It is a grass type though, so it provides coverage. However, there's no point in even mentioning the nickname I gave it, because as I was running out of the Pinwheel Forest, I ran into these stupid little girls that used a bug bite and took down Cereal. I am literally on the brink of giving up right now. So by the time I exited the Pinwheel Forest, my Tepig was a level 23. Why do I mention this? Well, that is already the level cap for the next gym, and I still have to battle the gym trainers. In order to avoid this issue, I thought of a plan that barely bends the rules, but I think it's better than straight up breaking them. Anyways, the solution was to trade away my dead Cottony and receive a Petalil in Nacrene City. Because of this, I won't exceed the level cap, allowing the run to continue. Hey, guess what happened? Petalil died to one of the gym trainer's Pokemon. Yeah, I'm not even surprised that this happened. You know what else happened? Bacon died in the very next fight. So I guess that's the end of attempt number 1. You already know we're running it back. To avoid boring you guys out of your minds, I am now back up to where I was, and in a much better situation. The only differences from the first run are that I now have a Lillipup and Tepig sadly died. Also, you can probably tell that I named my team members after random subscribers. I'm just saying, this is why you should hit that subscribe button, because you never know when I could do something like this. Anyways, Berg was much tougher than I thought he'd be. Browash was able to kill Whirlipede, but not before being brought down to 16 HP from a couple of Poison Tails. Dwebble wasn't too hard to take down, as a few rocks to the face did the trick. Leavanny was out last, and this is where the battle became brutal. I poisoned him first, before sending in every single one of my Mons just to chip away at his health. Unfortunately, in the process, Purloin and Pidove went down. However, we did manage to come out on top. This is probably the first time I've ever had trouble against Bianca. Herdier went down easily, but then there was Servine. Its Leaf Tornado did a lot of damage to the point where Matthew had to be taken out. Even then, I only killed Servine because he missed a Leaf Tornado on Roggenrola. Luckily, the rest of the fight was relatively easy. Since most of our team was now dead, I had to grind a bit in order to have a shot at Charon. Luckily, most of his team was weak to my Mons. Burno was able to handle Pidove, Pansear, and a Liepard, while Lunar dealt with the Duwat. Now that those major battles are out of the way, a lot of new areas have opened up for encounters, starting with Dwebble in the Desert Resort, Yamask in the Relic Castle, Minccino on Route 16, and Gothita on Route 5. I also got the Plume fossil while in the Relic Castle, but I don't think I'll add Archon to the team at this moment. After some very careful, yet brutal grinding, we were ready for N. Sandile and Darumaka stood no chance, as Giga Drain and Smackdown did the trick. However, N's next two team members were a lot more challenging. I tried to burn Scraggy with a Will-O-Wisp, but that failed, so I went over to Lunar. Because I used a Leech Seed, and was also gaining health back from Giga Drain, Scraggy eventually died. Last out was Sigilif, so I put it to sleep with Minccino, before sending in Roggenrola for the victory. The Elisa battle was actually kind of easy. Her first Emolga got one-shot by a Rock Slide. However, as her second Emolga and Zebstrika were switching back and forth, Dwebble did go down. I was then able to burn Zebstrika with a Will-O-Wisp before Yamask got taken out by a Pursuit. Lunar also died, but not before poisoning Emolga. Luckily, Zebstrika got finished off by the burn, and Gothita also managed to kill Emolga. Because of those deaths, I did some extra grinding before taking on Charon. Liepard went down to a few rock smashes, while Minccino landed a Sing on Duwat and took him down with a Swift. Pansear died in 2 Swifts, and Burno one-shot Tranquil. Now it was time to grab some much needed encounters before taking on Clay. These new team members included Ducklet on the Driftvale Drawbridge, Swadaloon on Route 6, Vanillite in the Cold Storage, and I also evolved my Minccino using a shiny stone, making Luck Pup our first fully evolved Mon. I had plenty of super effective moves on Clay's team, so this fight wasn't too bad. Krokorok went down to one Icy Wind, and then Excadrill came out next. I went over to Cinccino, who got off a powerful wake-up slap, but I had to unfortunately sack Daniel so that Cinccino regained its speed and finished off Excadrill. Last out was Palpitoad, who got absolutely demolished by Swadaloon. So I completely forgot that there was a battle with Bianca right after the gym, but it was nothing special. Roggenrola took care of Herdier, and Stonefam killed Panpour, Servine, and Musharna. I can't even begin to tell you guys how nice it is that I have some evolved Pokemon for once. In the Chargestone Cave, I hauled in a Joltik before taking on N. Burno hung on from a critical power gem only because of his sturdy ability. This caused Cinccino to get the job done. As a matter of fact, Luck Pup dealt with the rest of N's team pretty easily. I kind of maybe sort of crit the Cubchoo that I ran into on Route 7, but my Celestial Tower encounter was a Litwick. For now, it'll just go in the PC as a pretty useful backup mon. Despite having a lot of super effective moves, the Skyla fight was still a rough one. A few Ice Beams from Spot killed a Swoobat, and he also stayed in to take down Unfazant. Swanna, on the other hand, hit my team pretty hard and surprisingly lived an Electro Ball from a Brewing. In order to come out with the win, I knew I had to sack Gothita since it allowed a Luck Pup to finish off Swanna with a Swift. Charon was waiting for another match outside of Twist Mountain. Unfazant went down in 2 rock slides, while Duwat couldn't handle many Razor Leafs. Litwick was a perfect counter for Simisear, as it has the Flash Fire ability, which allowed for an easy kill. Liepard was out last, but he got knocked out by a slap to the face. Inside of Twist Mountain, I caught a Woobat, who will probably be used only if I need a backup mon. Anyways, on to Bryson. Grookey one-shot Vanillish with a single Inferno, so Beartic was up next. I went over to Cinccino, who hung on from an Icicle Crash, and took him down. I knew Cryogonal's physical defense was horrible, so to play it safe, I switched to Vanillite and whittled it down with Avalanche. On Route 8, I had another challenging battle with Bianca. I immediately got a Will-O-Wisp off on Stoutland, as he was kind of an idiot by using Workup. I then went over to Cinccino in order to kill him with a few wake-up slaps. Superior began to go for Coil, so once it landed a Leaf Blade, Luck Pup got left with 4 HP. Because of that, I went over to Stonefam, who got the job done with a Bug Bite. Vanillite barely did anything to Musharna, so I sent out Joltik. I went for a Signal Beam with only 26 hit points, but I confused Musharna and she hit herself, which allowed Brewing to stay alive. Last out was Simipour, so I had to sack off a Roggenrola in order to get a free switch into Swadaloon. So after that, one critical Razor Leaf did the trick. Now that there was an open slot on the team, I decided to head north of Isra City and catch Animolga. Even though we already have an electric type on the team, Emolga will be very useful as it has access to some great flying and electric type moves. Fracture started out the Drayden battle by using a bunch of dragon dances. Cinccino was able to deal a lot of damage to him even after Drayden used a hyper potion. Due to a dragon tail though, Stonefam had to finish him off. Drudagon got one shot by an ice beam, so last out was Haxorus. I swear this Pokemon has an addiction to using Dragon Dance because there were so many instances where he could have killed one of my Mons, but didn't. As a matter of fact, Litwick was the only one that died before Emolga got the job done. North of Opelucid City, Charon was ready for one last battle. Unfazant died to Fenner, so Samurott was up next. I put it to sleep before switching over to Joltik. He only got off one Electro Ball, so Emolga had to come in for the kill. Liepard went down easily, so Simisear was out last. I had to sack off Woobat, even though I just leveled him up, but it was worth it because a Luck Pup won the fight. For my final encounter, in Victory Road, I threw my Master Ball at a Durant. Honestly, this will probably be my best team member, as Durant resists a lot of typings and has a crazy good attack stat. The level cap for the Elite Four and Champion is a level 54, so I got my entire team to at least a level 50, since I know I'll gain some levels during the Elite Four. I don't think there's any universe out there where I managed to win the Nuzlocke, let alone get past 1 or 2 Elite Four members. However, I'm willing to give it a shot with my team of very short Pokemon. I didn't really know who to start with, so I randomly chose Chantal. I came prepared with a Rostberry, so the Will-O-Wisp on Durant didn't even matter. He easily killed Cofagrigus, but then Chandelure came out. This was the Mon that I was fearing the most. It one-shot Cinccino, Emolga, and Joltik before getting knocked out by a Crunch. Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't have started with Chantal. Luckily, Jellicent and Golurk went down without too many problems, besides the fact that Swadloon got taken out. So I'm going through the rest of the Elite Four with an ice cream cone and an ant. I gave Durant the Expert Belt before moving on to Caitlyn. This beautiful item came in clutch as I one-shot all 4 of her Pokemon. If you're ever struggling with Caitlyn, just catch a Durant. It literally does the trick. Grimsley was up next, and I wasn't feeling too confident about this fight. But you know who was? My boy Odd Eyes. He had no issues killing all 4 of Grimsley's Pokemon. Sadly, I did have to sack off Vanillite due to Crocodile's Intimidate. Well, I guess it's time to find out if we can beat the rest of the game with a single ant. As you were totally, definitely, 100% not expecting, I lost to Marshall. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even make it past his throw because my best move to use was a Shadow Claw. So unfortunately, run number 2 has come to an end. It would probably take another 2 weeks to make it back to the Elite Four, and I actually wanna upload this video, believe it or not. So this hardcore Nuzlocke is a wrap. As we admire all of our fallen team members, let's talk about this challenge for a minute. I had a great time making my first hardcore Nuzlocke for a video, even if it was tedious at times. Seriously, I had to grind a lot and make careful preparations for each major battle. If I extended the rules to Pokemon under 3 feet tall, then I think I could have won. I'm really curious to see if this challenge is still beatable, so if you want to try it out for yourself, go ahead. Anyways, if there's one takeaway from this video, I guess it's the fact that size really does matter. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these hardcore Nuzlocke challenges, because like I said, this one was fun to do. I also have some other unique challenge runs here on the channel, so be sure to check out those as well. For now though, if you enjoyed, then be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell to see more. And until next time, deuces!